What's up, guys? So I haven't posted in a few days, and when I don't post in a few days, people start to message me, tell me I'm slacking, and trust me, I am not. I'm working my ass off, but this weekend I had a family wedding I had to go to, and while we were down in the area, I actually managed to grab a new heart for Nissan, another drivetrain, engine number 5. But I think this one's gonna be the ticket, so I'm gonna give you a few seconds to comment what do you think it is. Probably gonna be SR20, right? Huh? RB25, wow. Ooh, maybe JZ. LS? Huh? Well, check it out. Another KA. KA number 5, who would have thought? But here we go. As you guys can see, this looks a little bit different than the other ones that I got. It's got some goodies on it. Now, before I start talking your ear off, let's get this thing separated from the trans, get on the engine stand, and get a really good look at it so I can show you what we're messing with here. All right, guys, so check it out. It might just look like another KA with turbo flung on it and a little bit of spray paint here and there, but internally, this thing is actually a pretty gangster motor. So this motor is actually fully built. So we're jumping right to this. A subscriber actually hit me up and gave me an amazing deal on his built engine. So literally, this is making up for all those junk motors we bought on the ground over there. So internally, this thing has forged piston and rods. It has ARP hardware throughout the whole engine, of course, a head gasket. Then it has BC valve springs and retainers and stage 2 cams. So internally, this thing is the perfect setup for this car. And honestly, it is capable of probably double the horsepower that we will ever need in that chassis, which is just a really good feeling. So I know I have to say it, buying a built motor is always kind of iffy, buying it secondhand, but I've seen enough of this engine, I've gotten enough proof of this engine that I feel more than confident about it. I think it's really gonna do us well. As you guys can tell, it comes with a little bit more than just a bare long block. We actually have a turbo on it, a manifold, nice rail setup. We have the trans, a clutch, all this good parts sitting around. And luckily, we don't really need any of it because we already have it, which means we get to sell all of it and get a lot of the money back. And we're gonna end up with this motor for pretty freaking cheap, and it just worked out so well, and I just couldn't be more thankful. So I'd love to just throw the engine in how it sits. It would save us a lot of time and headache, but it's not really up to par in terms of the whole visual aspect, and I think Nissan deserves a really nice looking engine. This thing, it's healthy, but you know, things are spray painted, all scratched up, it's kind of ugly, and there's just dirt and grime on everything. So I figured we'd do what we were planning to do from the beginning and stripping this whole thing down to the bare long block, clean everything up, make everything look pretty good, re-seal it up, and then never have to worry about the engine ever again, and it'll literally look brand new. And it won't really cost us much money at all. So first, we're gonna remove the whole entire turbo setup. Unfortunately, this manifold won't fit in the car, and this turbo is just a little too big. So let's get it off. All right, so this thing's a solid unit, but it's not the one for us. So now it's time to take off the not so fun side, and that is the intake side, but it's already pretty simplified, which means it should not take long at all. All right, check it out. So the intake valves look beautiful. I'm actually really pumped about that. There isn't oil all kicked up inside of there, so we don't have to worry about it having a lot of blow by or anything. It's not like this is a brand new engine either. All right, so the next test is to check the oil. So obviously there could be some surprises in that, but I think this thing's good. The only thing is this motor was on ethanol, I think its whole life, which is good for me because it, you know, probably is a healthier motor because of it. But with ethanol, if you don't change your oil frequently, it can kind of get into the oil, thin it out, and make it all gross. So we'll find out if you knew that pretty quickly.
Well, it's pretty dark, kind of thin.
Yeah.
Not too surprised.
It could have used an oil change a couple clutch kicks ago, I'll tell you
I mean, granted, Jimmy's like ridiculously religious on changing his oil, so he's got higher standards than most.
You know, here's your friendly reminder. Go change your oil. It probably needs it. Tell your sister too.
Definitely tell your sister to change your oil. It's been years.
Sammy will change your sister's oil.
Hey, I get under good.
Well, there's no metal, so that's good. This oil is so bad.
Pro dog. It's alright.
It's alright though. Everything's great. Tell me everything's great.
With the fresh oil, yeah, it'll be
perfect.
That was just the break-in oil.
Yep.
Looks like
Alright, so all the manifolds are off. It looks good. Everything checks out. Besides, I mean, the oil's a little thin, but we won't talk about that. Now we just have to pull off the rest of the stuff because we're going to clean this thing up entirely. So we still have all the accessories. All the stuff comes off quick. There's just a bunch of junk. So let's just get to it. I'm gonna regret this. Oh, I regret that. So it's looking pretty stripped, but I still want to pull the valve cover because I want to get this thing painted, and then I want to get this thing vapor honed so it looks brand new because that's not a good look. And then of course the rest of it, I want to paint the block, and we're gonna pull the oil pan off, basically because I don't really care for this block. I want to weld one on. So my favorite thing about this KA so far, which I can't say about any of those KAs, literally any of those, is none of the valve cover bolts are stripped in the head. It's sad how rare that is. So I really like how he converted to AN fittings for a catchkin here, but I don't know if there's actually any baffling in the valve cover where this is. So that might kind of cause some issues. So we'll see when we take it off. And we could also verify that there's aftermarket cams in this thing. That'd be pretty devastating. Ooh, those are pretty. Do you smell the ethanol, Sammy?
Yeah, it smells.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Smells like, yeah.
If you guys are on ethanol, make sure you change your oil like a lot because
this oil look mint.
It really gets in your oil. And so it looks like the whole entire cover is actually baffled. So I might actually use this cover because that's a pretty cool touch. I think he actually welded through nuts on it. Yeah, nice work, guy. It's a good touch. Now you gotta be really careful with like stamped sheet metal pans like this. If you pry them off, you'll literally bend this and it'll never seal again. It happens all the time. Where's my screwdriver? Ugh.
Jesus.
Here, any chunks? What is this? Just a bunch of RTV. Look how much RTV is in here. Ah, dude, this oil is in such bad shape. You're safe now, KA. You're safe with me now. Well, you can see the rods and pistons, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you can see the cap on the rod, and I don't know if you can see up there, and see the bottom of the piston, all nice and pretty and shiny. I mean, dude, it looks awesome under here. I mean, it doesn't really tell us much. Realistically, what I should do is I should pull a cap and check out the bearings, but I'll probably screw that up somehow. And it's kind of like that thing. You never had an LS motor, did you?
You think I've had an LS?
I don't know, Sammy. But there's this thing they say if your cam bearings only go bad if you look at them.
I think that's fair.
So I think I'm gonna pull the whole LS technique here and just not look at them and assume they're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
LS got something right.
Yeah. I can't get the crank pulley off, which is whatever. I'll get that off tomorrow. But I'm not gonna pull off the whole lower cover and oil pump. This I'm just gonna clean up on the engine. We're gonna pull the front cover off, and then all the accessories, like the intake and everything, we're actually gonna drop it off and get it all vapor honed so it looks like brand new. Everything else we're gonna get painted black, put a bung on there. We'll put it all together probably in literally half a day, and it'll look like a brand new engine. So you can't beat that. But for today, huge victory because we now have the long block that I wanted this whole time sitting on an engine stand, and it's a good feeling. This thing's gonna be sick. All right, take a look, take a good look. Look how gross this thing is all around. In just a few days, this thing's gonna look brand new, I'm telling you. So lucky enough, I already have most of the gaskets for the engine to begin with. NissanParts.cc literally sent them out as soon as we started the Nissan project. So huge shout out to them. Besides that, it's just gonna be cleaning up and paint. And of course, in the meantime, we have, of course, many mock-up engines to play with to finish up everything in this Honda. So we should be good to go. So I'm just rambling on at this point, so I hope you guys are pumped because I know I am ecstatic, and we're gonna end it there. So you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more content, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
I'm cold-hearted and broke, I cold-started and choke. I grow part with my soul, the vote harder to grow. I know why, hey, I know why, hey, yeah. I'm cold-hearted and broke, I cold-started and choke. I grow part with my soul, the vote harder to grow. I know why.